Shana Tova, DP Sports fans. I am Stephen Titan, Senior Sports Editor. Happy New Year, and we are starting week 2 of coverage for Ivy League football. Penn is facing Villanova, number 6 in the FCS rankings, and a team that Penn has not beaten in over a century. So I have sports editors Ian Lamar Wennick and Colin Joseph Paul Henderson. So first, Colin, can you just tell us a little bit about what happened against Jacksonville and the takeaways from last week's loss?
Yeah, definitely. So for those of you unfamiliar, Penn ended up losing 34-31 and was a very disappointing result for them. Pretty heartbreaking, in fact. There were some positives for Penn, including Alec Torgerson. Although he had an up-and-down game, he showed some of what he can do through the air. Bagnoli was pretty happy with him. And some of the breakout freshmen, Justin Watson and Trey Solomon, come to mind. On the offensive side of the ball, Penn ended up putting up 31 points, which is pretty good for their first time out. But it was a pretty disappointing performance on a lot of levels, especially from the defense. The secondary in particular was supposed to be one of the key strengths of Penn's defense coming into and team overall coming into the season. But we got a lot more of what we saw last year, where they were a pretty middling defensive team. I don't think any of us were really expecting Penn to lose to Jacksonville. Obviously, it was their first game out. Jacksonville was coming in with a few weeks of experience. That could have played a factor. Obviously, it was Torgerson's first start. We saw him make a couple key mistakes going down the stretch that ultimately led to Jacksonville's run, but definitely a disappointing start to the season, giving up a 12-point lead midway through the fourth quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we're going to have to see in the upcoming weeks how the secondary responds. You know, Dan Wilkamp with interception, but at the same time, you can't really give up 34 points to a Pioneer League team and then expect when, you know, high-powered offenses like Dartmouth and Princeton come around that you can, be able to stop them.
Yeah.
And they're facing another pretty high-powered offense again this week in Villanova. You know, John Robertson, 2 straight years has beaten up on Penn. And, as a redshirt junior this year, what can we expect from him and what can we expect from Villanova overall?
Well, first off, Shana Tova to you, Stephen. So with Villanova, they are quite simply one of the powerhouses in the FCS this year, number 5 in the coaches poll. And John Robertson has taken this team to what should have been a victory over FBS Syracuse. They pasted Fordham and they pasted James Madison. He can pass, he can run, he can do it all, and he has a great supporting cast behind him as well. You have Kevin Menangai running the ball. He's incredibly strong, incredibly powerful. And you have Poppy Livers as his number 1 receiving option, who is also a stellar punt returner, has already taken 1 kickback. So they can really hurt you in 3 different ways. But I think what helps Penn is that I went to practice today, and I spoke to Coach Bagnoli. Kyle Wilcox, he was living with a thigh issue last week against Jacksonville. He's in. They expect him to play. Austin Tabbs, he's been back in practice. I expect him personally to play. And Lyle Marsh, who is back in his first game last year after missing 2013 to focus on academics, he is out for this weekend's game. But I think that Penn's going to get some key faces back, and that could help against a very stout Nova squad.
All right, absolutely. So it's been 103 years. It's been, 13 consecutive matchups that Penn has been unable to beat Villanova. Do they break that streak this weekend?
Well, Al Bagnoli's 0-12 lifetime against Andy Talley. I think it's going to fall to 0-13. This, I think, is going to be more of a game than people expect, but I think Nova just has too much. I'm going to say Nova 27, Penn 13.
And Colin, what's your prediction?
I definitely expect to see improved overall play from the Quakers, especially from Torgerson, and I expect the secondary to come back strong. They've just got too much senior leadership back there to fall flat again, but this is a higher level of caliber of opponent than they faced in Jacksonville, and once again they've had less experience on the season than Villanova. I think that plays a factor. I think Penn falls 20-14.
Yeah, I think you guys think it might be a little too close than I think it's going to be. I think that this Nova team is, as good as Penn can be and has the potential to win the Ivy League regardless of this result. This Villanova team is just on another level. I'm going to say Villanova wins 31-10, and that by the time the toast toss is going on, people are filing out of the stadium. Hopefully, there's a lot of people at the stadium for this season opener. But, you know, that's all for us from DP Sports. We look forward to covering the game, bringing you all the coverage, bringing you some highlights, and giving you some more analysis next week. Peace out.